All right, tonight is parts 3 and 4. Welcome back to wherever out there hears this. You're watching parts 3 and 4 of Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I'll be putting down the pencils of last night's previous sketch, putting it on bigger paper and redrawing it. This was just for the rough idea, just to get the general idea, gestural idea of where things are going. That's important to have, and luckily I have a stronger sense of what I want to do and where it's going, so hopefully things will turn out well. Yeah, so make sure you have your copy or whatever copy of the film ready to stream, whichever stream platform you use, and yeah. So some Fela Kuti, Shakara, Oleje, the music. So, and yeah, let's get started.
I'm so sorry.
At the part where Iris and Flash are looking at each other through the window.
On the bus. She's 107 years old. Even some of her last moments of life. French, of course. Resume, I believe, is half part of school. Wow. Like, what was my pocket? For monster holiday.
Eating food off the floor when you're driving, especially when you're driving, is generally not a great idea. For those who don't know, Gardner Fox, play on words, but it is the name of a very important DC artist. He created Barbara Gordon around the 50s, him along with George Perez. Definitely one of those like 50s, I guess you would call them Silver Age artists around the 60s, but a big part. Him and Carmine Infantino and Julius Schwartz, they played like a big role in like revamping like DC, or in that period, navigating the whole the landscape of post comic code American mainstream distribution.
You have been near a mother box. The scent is on you. Where is it? You already have.
There's a technique in storytelling where that if you create enough of a presence of a character when they're in play, when they're gone or absent, you can still evoke their presence just by their absence. It's not easy to do, but with something like the Lois and the Clark, as they are in a lot of ways, like they become DC royalty, regardless of the fact that they weren't conceived in such a way. But essentially, in the greater world, Superman is missing, thus crime and various other reactions are happening in mourning. With him gone, with Lois represents that as well. Typically I'm not really typically romance in stories, if it's not have a very functional use, is very hard to make seem genuine in any way. But they set up intentionally or not a really good chemistry between between Bruce and Diana, and I think it would behoove them to explore that. Maybe, well, it's not even necessarily they have to. Um, from a narrative standpoint, it can be useful in there are two people who've lost their way and their trust in humanity. However, symbolically, each other, they can help each other learn to trust again through working so close together. Diana learns to trust humanity by dealing with Bruce, who is, in a lot of ways, the very symbolic nature of very human, to fall, to rebuild, to be better, to make mistakes. And I think that's a really good way to, that's an interesting way through that, to like explore trust within each other. Like narratively. If the idea was, quote, him regaining humanity, or rather trusting that there is good to be done in this world, even with the absence of Superman. I think they're similar enough where I think that is something that does bring people together. Two broken people can help put their pieces together to build something better. Just as, there are people who in mourning can comfort each other or find a kind of romance, as it were. So these are just one of many things that can be explored. I'm curious how much a lot of people are in favor. They like Wonder Woman and Diana. The Wonder Woman and Bruce, but they're two strong personalities and they like that kind of dynamic. It will be interesting. Or they might not do it at all. Their rhythm, I like their. So hopefully that continues. Whatever it is, I know Zack will be and his team will be able to write something very compelling. The quandary of work life, and family life can be a delicate balance, especially in this post-industrialized world. So, it makes it hard to find a work balance. That's for sure. Again, visual storytelling, dialogue, writing, and visuals working together in harmony. You could mute this and you could get the idea across, even if you have no idea of, you know, symbols of the stock market per se. You can at least get the idea that he's being transported, or the symbol within his mind, until he's in his mind. And it really adds a lot of grandiosity to what Cyborg can do.
World monetary system and its complex interaction will seem as easy to manipulate for you as a child's plaything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Get that longer. A little bit of subtle acting with the smile, finding, smile at its most natural is it's just a natural response to stimulus. It's a natural, context sensitive, obviously, but it's showing he's starting to see what's possible. And that joy is letting him feel a little bit more human again. Or like his old self, rather. This actress was quite thrilled to find out that she was in the film. She wasn't before, as were a lot of people, but she was very thrilled about that. And it's really cool to see. It's like there's a lot of good real world stuff happening that's come from this film being released. And I think that that's nothing to be scoffed at, regardless of how one may feel about the film itself. Also, good narrative technique for showing like money as in literal stacks. So his mind's eye helping him conceptualize this particular abstract, the monetary idea.
These are the words and productions of a scientist. That's how I've been speaking to you. Now, I speak to you from my heart, not as a scientist, as a father.
Obviously, he's not quite there yet. A sight so crazy, one would think only homeless people could see it.
still in prison for the murder of my mother, which is huge. How did I get interested in criminal justice? This path has clearly chosen me, Dad. Ever say that, please? That's not true. That's not true. No. Yeah. Said that like it explained why there's a total stranger in my place, sitting in the dark, in my second favorite chair. Tell me about this. This is a person who looks exactly like me, but who is definitely not. Somebody, I don't know, hippie, long hair, very attractive Jewish boy. Drinks milk, I don't drink milk. Oh, yeah, my special skills include viola, webcam, human sign language, gorilla sign language, silicon-based, sand quartz fabric, radiation resistant, heat resistant. Yeah, I do competitive ice dancing. The reusable space shuttle to prevent it from burning up. I do very competitive ice dancing. Look, man, I don't know who you are, but whoever you're looking for, it's not me. That feels like an oversimplification. Stop right there. I'm in. Sure. Yeah. I need friends. Can I keep this? It's like this layer of dimensional reality
What's fun here is it's nice to be a sly British humor because tea is basically holy to the British, and Diana's not good at. She's basically trying to make coffee with tea.
Sure you don't want to have some? I will. Definitely will. What are you working on?
Tonite. Designed with specialized polymer sounds. Yeah, that makes sense. Borrowed this from the Kryptonian sculpture. So maybe you should practice some going. That's it. Not to be sneezed at.
Unconscious and captures the dissipated energy.
Master Wayne's idea.
Maybe you should work on the last one too. Use Zack.
There was something on Film God stream. He was talking with a man named Yuchi. I believe also did a podcast with a live stream with some other YouTubers and Tyrone Magnus, I think Zack Sharp, and he some Film God's cast that he feels like there is things that was supposed to be in the first Wonder Woman movie describing her powers. So the ideas of like it's implied visually, but the idea of metals and how their gauntlets work in the original run of Wonder Woman, the concept of the gauntlets was really about one. It was besides being used as a weapon to deflect, it was a tool. It was a symbol for them to never basically forget their roots, where they came from. So it's never came back. So it's kind of like a remember Pearl Harbor kind of thing, or those remember 9/11 stickers. And so the idea, he was speculating that in Wonder Woman, what probably was most likely was originally Wonder Woman 1854 was that they would get into the metallurgy that the Amazonians went into. So basically, almost like the mysticism of like how they create metals that absorb energy and dissipates it, kind of thing. And we're missing a lot of that. So there were steps that were supposed to be included, and for whatever reason, they were basically omitted entirely. Most likely when the tone of the film changed.
The world. You obviously didn't do great.
What it is. Looks like a gift.
plotted with X-rays from the electron laser. Look what happens. Kelvin. The inner core of the matter becomes superheated. Hot, dense matter. You're looking at the hottest thing on there. Exact words I said to my phone day. She dumped me anyway. Hey Doc, do you think Batman is connected to the object the CID is looking for? You know, 61982.
Similar shot used when Lois came home. Batman v Superman. Top down from the stairwell. Fire escape.
Commissioner Gordon, your messages.
We'll have to see the sky to know it's a full moon.
Half of Gotham's reality shadows so sailing so far in Mars to the bottom of it.
You're right, Mom. Police Academy. From dental school. That's why a flying vampire. Like a giant bat with huge fangs.
Possibly related to sketch. Suspect in a death scene running across the lawn. Looks like
I know what it looks like.
come on, she fights criminals for 20 years here. And goes to Metropolis and kidnaps new people. I'll talk to him. How, Tim?
How do you think?
Oh my goodness. Where's the cyborg?
There's Victor. Matt. Spoon. Give him time. You must be Barry. I'm Diana.
Hi, Barry. I'm Diana. That's all right. Great.
This is us.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. As the bat signal, that's your. Oh, sorry. That's your signal. That means we have to go now. Yeah. It's so cool.
That's that the Atlanteans have a language they can communicate. So they wanted to work something out. And that's why the air bubbles came. I think it's a unique touch. It feels organic.
Yeah. Tell the king $50 a take. He wants to send for you. He says all the reserves are needed in the rebel regions.
All right, take what that
I'm very curious how he would have how this world would handle the relationship between the two brothers, two half brothers, and the complicated relationship they're in, and how Orm feels about being, the circumstances of his birth and things of that nature. I'm very curious to see if they give it more depth than what the Aquaman movie gave us.
You can't escape. I'm not trying to.
Mean right and mean left hook. Boom after every sound effect. After the two calls. It just sounds good. Sounds real good.
Wait. I mean, my parents died when I was. You dare speak of Queen Atlanta that way?
The queen. The thing my father does.
Your mother let you to see your life. You cannot imagine how it hurt her. What it cost her. She will not have defenseless child now. It would have been her responsibility to follow that monster to the surface and stop it. Now, it's yours.
It's a nice touch that with every movement there is a sound effect. Like the armor is alive. The suit is alive, just like the mother, just like Steppenwolf's armor.
Tell me what you two boxes found at the wake. The combined power of the two mother boxes, I've been able to release the stronghold's defenses.
Obviously, there's been discussion about,
Pirated by extension.
the Apocalypse family is no family. It's all treachery. But the thought that like they didn't believe Steppenwolf would be successful in his endeavor to stop.
They will tell me what they know.
Not necessarily to get the mother boxes, but to stop the defenders of Earth. And they're just using it as R&D. To get an idea of who's out there, their strength, and a potential new champion for Darkseid. Sorry.
How many of you are there? Not enough. Dozens of witnesses all over Gotham. Description matches the suspect in the Metropolis abduction. Okay.
The demons want to press a set in another box.
Well,
They carry people away to find out what they know.
so the eight may still be alive. Nine. The head of Star Labs was taken tonight. Oh, okay, so another scientist. So how do we find him?
There must be a net nearby.
What are all the sightings in Metropolis?
Gordon's seen it all at this point. What's the mechanical cyborg to him now?
These are backstoppers out between two cities. These are airplanes. They all lead down to the tunnel of Metropolis project that was abandoned in 29.
The rest of the
Is he coming with us now? Because I'm not going to take the call. Do you really think that? Oh wow, they really just vanished. Huh? Oh, that's rude.
That particular guitar he's got sounds like a distorted bass in a way, or what a distorted bass could sound like.
Where are we, Governor? Strike zone. Should be directly under the venting column for the tunnel. I look to your left, see a staircase to the machine. Someone's got just a touch of people there. That's it. Let's go.
I also noticed that from certain angles, his cape flares up just like Frank Miller's cape in The Dark Knight Return. Kind of looks like the bottom of a flying V. I like that bit. And obviously a Gotham native. Everyone's heard of the Batman.
You have been near another boss. The scent is on you. Where is it?
Leave him alone! He doesn't know!
There was actually a video. There's a series on YouTube where a guy, a doctor, he breaks down fight scenes, or they get various doctors to break down fight sequences. And from a medical perspective, looks at the possible injuries. And what I found out was if you're like blood on the wall doesn't actually mean that the person is dead. It just means that they have a cranial fracture, but it doesn't actually mean that they're like they're dead. It just means they're unconscious. But a lot of people don't know that. But the human body can endure quite a bit of punishment, like a lot of punishment. Everything is triangle. From here, here. So triangle, like circular compositions are really fun. Frank Frazetta uses a lot of triangles in his work, but it just keeps the eye moving in a circle. Keeps it like in motion. I also see that in various like frames and paintings. The idea here is still like going for high contrast, so lots of blacks. It's a strong light source, but I think it's worth it.
My God, they worked. Celebrate later off. I need the Nightcrawler.
So you've never asked. Goes on the way, initiating about time.
Thank you, Alfred. Don't mention it.
Like pinball. Just buried the pinball wizard now.
Zack, get back to the top.
I'm right. Aliens, that guy, sword lady.
My turn.
Notice Bruce is a lot more civil to Alfred. Now Alfred kind of gets to be like the catty one.
That was so incredible. Are you all right, Master Wayne? Are you all right?
This looked like a photo I remember seeing from Zack's Vero feed of her next to the fire and her making a little W with her hands. Started with reconciliation or an understanding. This is important because it shows Flash can get hurt, but it also addressed the idea of just how he deals with injury, which is needless to say very fast.
Relax. I'll take it from you.
Do I know you? What are we under right now?
That's like they're like hovering in the water as he flows. That's pretty.
Who is that?
I only saw one reactor online that guessed that they were in Chernobyl in that general area. And she was a European gal from around Ukraine or around that general area. Well, from Europe anyway.
Show me. It is here. On this world.
U.S. government protocols required. I know the requirements. I wrote
From Terminator,
Well, Ted,
present day.
though I know that
Joe Morton's doing all that.
take one box of that.
all he needs now is the last box of men.
Already have it. He doesn't have. Okay. Have you finished the conquest?
Not yet, sir.
Then why did you summon me?
I bring news. Before mighty Darkseid came to the throne, he searched the universe for the ultimate weapon. The anti-life equation. The key to controlling all life and all will throughout the multiverse. He found
Pay attention that before he took the throne, he searched for it. That's a key word here, meaning he stopped searching.
The
Right.
world that fought back. It is Earth. The anti-life equation is carved into the surface of this very world.
His mother boxes were like a GPS device.
I have looked.
It
with my
speaks,
own eyes.
but it also knows when a threat is there, but also depends on who's nearest by. Steppenwolf was near their world, conquering other places for the penance for his betrayal. Darkseid was way too far away to find out. He knew of the loss, but it was a matter of him being within reach of the mother box, and he just been so far away. It's all in the visual storytelling if you're willing to look.
My lord. Oh, Steppenwolf. My lord, I am but your humble servant. Can it be true that you have found it? I have, great one. The lost world is Earth. Anti-life is here.
And lost in this case means the failed world he sought to find. The term I found the lost one. The term lost in context means a lot of different things.
You will come to Earth. I have turned 100,000 worlds to dust, looking for anti-life, looking for those who robbed me of my glory. I will stride across their bones and bask in the glow of anti-life, and all of existence shall be mine.
So I'm guessing Guessing Dark Side's favorite album is Master of Reality by Black Sabbath.
What's why? Circumstance. I speak to intelligence. This one says you can't fly because of a software issue. I can fix it with a little time. There's a dark spot in my data stream. I feel the empty boxes. Another week. But I can't see where they are. We can't attack unless we know the base is.
I'm ready for a man. I've never seen a being as strong as that man. Maybe one.
Superman. As long as the third box is asleep, they can't see it. Only sense it. We need to keep moving so they can't catch up. That's just a strategy to lose more slowly to win. Remind me, are flamethrowers not a thing? Why don't we just destroy it? Fire doesn't destroy the boxes. They're an unknown form of matter. Only enough heat. Absorb it. Hold it in their cores. You know a lot about these boxes. Makes you think. We could find the box fixer. Are you trying to say something? Oh, I'm saying it. I don't know you know how to look for it. It's a long story. You got someone else to be. The Nazis found the box at the end of the Second World War. Third, under the Italian monastery. The Allies intercepted it on its way to Italy. They brought it back to the States in '44. Unknown object. 61982. They collected dust in the Pentagon archives for 70 years. Till DOD began to study Superman ship. The researcher and stuff climbs made a connection.
There's so many set pieces. Visualization is really good for different set pieces. It's very helpful.
Different civilizations. Some of the properties. And though the box had slept for thousands of years, the researcher formulated a theory on how to awaken it. And so did. Then, I had an accident I should have killed. But in an act of desperation, madness, the researcher harnessed the power of the box. But time to do this.
There's a certain bit of like
Box went back to
understanding when he's thinking about this, when he's recounting that situation. He understands why Silas did what he did. It's just it's a hard deal.
Your father saved your life. These things are unbig psycho murder machines. They're change machines. The boxes don't think in terms of healing or killing. Alive, they're dead. They rearrange matter at the will of the masters. Regenerate. Reinstate.
Reinstate.
Boxes the power to reinstate the interior part of relationships. Smoothing away that particles of matter can't be created or destroyed. Cohesion just transformed. Burn down a house, particles still exist. Particles of house, burn particles of smoke.
And burn with a match. You turn the house to snow.
Put it on the box. Smoke like into a house.
The body, but not the interior. The interior is something vastly different. And that's what they're about to find out. we still have quite a bit to understand about where their relationship stands. You know, how do you get on with the guy that helped you, that nearly killed you, and was responsible for a lot of bad things happening? How do you reconcile someone like that? How long would it take? Would one need to? Would you even want to? Do you need to? What's interesting is that Martian knew, so he was keeping tabs on Martha. Johns was keeping tabs on Martha when all this was going on. I mean, it's hard for anyone to keep track of what's happening, but it's fascinating how, like, well, he's been around for who knows how long. So he made a point to be as fastidious as possible. And Johns does, his own family. Although it makes you wonder how many times has he had to do this, depending on how long he's been on Earth. Some people think that line is about, you're coming back to the park or getting back to work. But I don't think it's about that at all. I think it's a lot more ethereal than that. It's about coming back to humanity, not forgetting Clark, but there he is. About what she means, Everyone has a persona, right? If you look at Batman v Superman, everyone seems to forget. It's like they all have masks, right? There's Superman and Batman when they're in uniform and then when they're out of uniform. There's also Lois Lane when she's Lois Lane and when she's not Lois Lane, when she's not on the job, kind of the faces. Not everybody's consistent. Only a handful of people are literally who they are at home in silence and then who they are in person are exactly the same. It's a unique kind of honesty. And thus concludes our nightly entertainment. Hope you got to sketch something out nice. You're enjoying the film. Definitely a wild ride, very cathartic, and yeah. You have a good night or daytime wherever you are. You know, catch you next time. We'll have I'll be doing inking for sure. So got the spacing I want, and it's a much better idea, kind of what's going on. So like little circular motion going on. Should be like an organic rhythm if it goes the way I like. But that's all for tonight. Take care, good night, and good luck.